I'm John Hayden. Let's queer up the USA view. Texas A&M axes women's and gender studies programs. This is raising fresh concerns for LGBTQ plus students and educators. Texas A&M University announced it is winding down its women and gender studies academic programs. The decision affects the bachelor's degrees, graduate certificates, and minor offered under the program. In a letter obtained by KBTX, Provost and Executive Vice President Dr. Alan Sams said the move was made, quote, as part of the broader implementation of the recently updated systems policy, end quote. Sams adds that the university made the difficult decision to begin winding down the genders and women's studies programs, including the BA, BS, and graduate certificate and minor, citing enrollment status over the past several years. Currently, 25 students are pursuing the major and 31 are in the minor. Students already in the program will be allowed to finish over the next 6 semesters, but no new students will be admitted. The move follows a policy passed last fall by the school's Board of Regents, which restricts how race, gender, sexual orientation, and gender identity can be discussed in classrooms without special written approval. Jesus. These are college students.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you need a permission slip? Like when I was 8 and going to a field trip at the zoo? This is just about restricting knowledge. This is to a certain extent, it's about women and gender studies, but this is really about a larger effort to restrict what people think, what people learn. Because if people don't learn, then they can't pass that knowledge on down to their kids or teach it when it's their turn. I mean, oh my God, these.
But who is so threatened by women's studies? That's what I want to know. What? I mean, like, men, 100% across the board. But it's crazy how that is. I mean, literally, it's just. You know, we were the marginalized gender forever.
Right,
We've always been since the beginning of time, you know, and this is just a reminder of that. You know, these real conversations need to be had about gender and women's studies. You know, it's literally another way to erase women.
Exactly. And to take us back to the 1950s.
Like, I'm going to need for you to sign a check for me so I can be able to open up a bank account soon.
Well, my mom lived in that generation. She couldn't open a bank account. It was crazy.
Well, I think you said something. It's a broader problem with education in general. I grew up in Texas. I went to school in Texas. Our 7th grade Texas history book was 2.5 inches thick. It was the heaviest book that we ever had to take. My friends now who teach in Texas say the Texas history book is like a pamphlet. They have whitewashed Texas history. And Texas has a sordid history. I mean, 6 flags of Texas. So this is like the hamster in the wheel situation. We are whitewashing.
And eliminating
education. And then you pass these laws where you can't talk about certain things. So of course you're not going to have the turnout. You only have 25. So from an economic standpoint, I get it. If you only have 25 people in a school the size of Texas A&M, you're not going to continue a class. Because 25 people paying for that class is not enough to pay for the salary of the teacher. But the problem is you've now set rules and regulations in place that are saying we're not going to talk about these things, so people aren't going to come to the school to learn it.
Right, but the good thing is that there are still other schools where you can study this.
For now.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, this gives other colleges, hey, let me take that page out of that rule book and use that over here. Yeah, it's a budget thing.
The arts are going away. Tech is going away. I mean, when I went to high school, we had auto shop. We had,
sex ed.
We had
home ec.
We had shop. We had theater. We had all this, and you are constantly seeing all of this stuff being taken out of schools.
We had gym. I mean, now we just want everybody unhealthy and not knowing where they're standing. Is that what you're telling me, basically?
And nobody gets Fs anymore in elementary school. You get participation.
What?
No more Fs.
It can't be held back.
A for effort.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Every child needs to feel important.
And to speak to John's point initially, though, having come from a high school classroom where I spent many years, these are adult people in a college. I can understand, we had rules and regulations in high school. You can't force something on an underage kid without the parent permission. Now we're fast forwarding to these are college adults.
They're adults.
This is where you're supposed to be forming your own vision of the world and your own view of education. You don't go home with a slip from mommy to say that you can, at college, that you can take this class.
Period.
I
You're
can
an
talk
adult.
about women.
Yes,
I can
you're an
find out
adult,
about
period.
women, Mom.
And to speak to your point, I think, we shouldn't be, just because, let supply and demand do what it naturally does. Don't pass laws to inhibit supply and demand.
Correct.
Supply and demand ebbs and flows.
Yep.
And that should be okay. Otherwise, you're correct. All it is, it's a couched vision of reducing education opportunities, sort of minimizing and what beyond the downplaying of women in general to be able to women's studies. I mean, how is that threatening?
But I guarantee you, it's Texas. The football team at Texas A&M and the cheerleaders still got their full budget. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, once again, Texas has succeeded in making me feel less shame and remorse about living in Florida. Thank you, Texas.
There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.